I'm ready. Go.
The door and travel to another home.
Yeah, most of what I do is music, so I keep myself very busy doing that. I have, of course, Dream Theater is my main, thing in my life, and it takes up a lot of time with our recording and our touring. But beyond that, I still feel a very strong creative urge to do my other projects, like my solo piano stuff and my solo rock albums, like The Road Home. And so I have a family, I have my musical life, and I try to balance those things and make it all work. The songs that I chose actually were songs that came into my life at a very important time. There was a period when I was kind of getting out of the classical world, playing piano and studying to be a classical pianist, and I was discovering all the progressive rock music like Genesis and ELP and King Crimson and Yes. And it was, I was like 17, 18 years old, and a lot of what I did was sitting around listening to music. So these are the songs that meant the most to me, that had the largest impact on my life. So those are the ones I chose for The Road Home. Well, each musician came into my life a little bit differently. So there's kind of a story behind each one. For instance, Stephen Wilson is somebody that I met some years ago when his band Porcupine Tree was opening up for Dream Theater. And I loved their music, and I became a fan, and I became a friend of Stephen's, and we've been, just talking through the years. And so he was somebody I really wanted to have on the album. The guy from Ozric Tentacles, his name is Ed Wynn. He's a wonderful guitar player. I've been a fan of Ozric Tentacles, and the record company that I'm with, Magna Carta, also has Ozric Tentacles on the label, so there was a connection there. Some people like Ricky Garcia, who's a guitarist from Germany, or Marcos Fogli, are people that I've met just along the way. Ricky I met while he was a student at Berkeley in Boston, and Marco is a player that James LaBrie discovered. And of course I've been friends with Kip Winger for a while, and he did a lot of singing on the record. And Neil Morse, I know also through my professional work, and I thought, oh, what a great singer to sing for the Genesis stuff. He did a great job. And Nick DiVirgilio sang some of the Yes music for me, and these are some people I know, friends, or maybe I'm just introduced to everybody a little bit different. There were some problems because they couldn't find the official master tapes of these sessions, so everything was on hold because there was some tension with the label, and we couldn't figure out exactly what to do. No master tapes, but finally, Mike and I were very anxious to see this music released, and Mike has the DAT tapes of this music, just the stereo mixes, direct to the recording, no special mixing or anything, but that came out very well. So we decided that this was great. We would share this. This is really good, some good inspired jamming, and I think people really want to hear it. So finally, after all these years, we're able to put it out and make it happen. I don't know, it's all good. I mean, of course I like it when John is there to play guitar, but I thought there was some great jams, a lot of space to do interesting keyboard things, and maybe it's a chance for some of the people to listen to more interesting stylistic things, Well, probably when we play, I'm sure we'll play the songs that we wrote, and we'll also do some improvising, and maybe there's certain key melodies that are part of the improvisation that we can use a little bit, but then of course do something new. Right. So I get to do all the good stuff, the metal, the not so metal. no plan to. You know, I put that album together just thinking about the sonics of it, the sound, and using a lot of my studio and multi-tracking keyboards. And it's a little bit difficult to say that I'm going to go out on tour and just. I only have two hands, and it's a whole orchestrated kind of an album. So it's possible, but I would need to arrange some kind of, bigger group to do it of maybe 2 or 3 keyboard players to make it happen. I'll tell you about one interesting, funny moment that was cool. I was doing an album with David Bowie. It's called Heathen, and I was playing the piano while he was singing some songs. And he started to sing that song, Captain Jack to Major Tom, you know, in that very classic sound. And, oh my God, all of a sudden the realization that I'm here with David Bowie. This is pretty cool. That was just a interesting, musical memory. Spirit of metal for me? When I got into harder kind of rock music when I was younger, I was listening to like AC/DC and Judas Priest and things like that, and those are kind of the roots of my metal experience. And then, of course, when I entered Dream Theater, they introduced me to like Metallica and more of like Iron Maiden, Queensryche, and things like that. So those are the things that are kind of like the roots, I guess, for me. Hello, French guy. You'll see this video. How you doing? I'm so happy to be here in Paris. It's always a great experience playing in France, and the French audience is among Dream Theater's very best. So we get really excited when we come here. We consider it to be like one of our very biggest shows. So thank you for the support, and we'll see you soon.